In our first video, we created the yellowfish and the shark and got them to move basically around the stage. So that's what we've got so far. Now, what we need to do now is to change the uh, shark movement a little bit so that it will look like it's eating the fish. Remember, it's a GIF. So if we click on the shark, which we have, and then we click on costumes, you can see that there's three different pictures within the shark. And by rotating these, or it's a bit like flicking the edge of a book that you've done a whole series of pictures on, it looks like the shark is opening and closing its mouth. What we want to do is get the shark to open its mouth when it gets to the yellow fish and eat it. So how do we do that? Well, what we do is we're going to change the shark a little bit. So where are we? If we go back to our code, we want to put some extra instructions in here. So we'll leave it at 20%, 70% rather, but if what we want it to do is open its mouth when it gets to the yellow fish. So how do we do that? Well, we need an if statement, an if and then else statement. Now we're going to put this earlier on before the rest of the other program. That didn't quite work. We need the if statement to go we want that there. That's how we worked it. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to work out if it's touching the yellow fish. So we need the sensing commands. And if it's touching, so let's go to if it's touching yellow fish, there it is, yellow fish. What do we want it to do? Well, we want the shark to point towards the yellow fish. And that will be in movement and point. Here we go, point towards. We want it the yellow fish, yes. And then we want to change the costume. Now remember, just jumping back to the costumes here, the second costume, B, to a shark B, was it had its mouth open. So that's what we want. So let's go back to code. We want to, and we look at the look, so we're changing the look of it. We want to change the costume. So here we go here. No, we want it there. And we want it to be B, mouth open one. Otherwise, switch costume to the normal one that it is at the moment. So switch costume, where are we? Switch costume to A. All right, and then we want to change this a little bit here. So what we're doing now is we're introducing another if statement. So that's, hang on, sorry, that's not what we wanted. We want that in there. Okay, if, now what is the condition here? Well, we need to check how far it is away from the mouse pointer. So what we need to do first is get an operator. And we want something greater than. So let's get this one and drag it out. Now we want the distance to. Now the distance to command found in our sensing and commands, and we find distance to, so we can put that in here. If distance to mouse pointer is greater than 5, not 50, so let's drag this green one now into this little bit here, then point towards mouse pointer, move 5 steps, and wait 0.1 seconds. Okay, so what we've done there is we've now got the shark to, when it moves and touches the yellow fish, it will open its mouth and effectively eat it. We also want to set up a counter which will score how many fish that we eat. So how do we do that? We go first of all to variable. Where's that variable? We're going to set up a new variable, make a variable, and I'm going to type in score. And we need to do it for all sprites, not for this sprite only. So make sure that's selected there and OK. And you can see our score appear up here now. So we go back to here. Now we need to have the score starting at 0. So if we click on the stage, which is here, we can set what our score will be. So again, when you start the game, and it's going to go back to our variables, which are down here, set, and my variable is going to be score to 0. In other words, we're starting off at 0. That's pretty important. The next step is to eat and score, and that will be shown in the next video.